You know, we learned some stuff about our football team the other night. We got to play 60 minutes. We got to take care of the football. Anytime you lose the turnover margin, you got a chance of losing a game, and that's part of what happened the other night. We also, just got to be more sound on some of the things that we're teaching. Our details got to be better, and the good thing is our guys came out last night, had a heck of a practice, a lot of energy. So, we look forward to, again, having another opportunity to play.
Hey, Coach, usually you have, in a normal year, 3 or 4 games to kind of get things worked out. Is there more of a urgency to make some changes in any areas now with not as many games to go?
I think you Kirk, it's a good point, but it's one that we're all dealing with. So, we all have to make sure that we're going to play our best football every time we get an opportunity to take the field. And so, I think we really had a very good fall camp, whatever you want to call it, and I think our guys physically are ready. We just didn't play on either side of the ball or in the kicking game as well as we can, and those are things we got to go back and make sure that we're coaching all the details and that we're putting our guys in a position to be successful.
In your review, obviously the running game was not nearly as productive this past week as the first 2. Was that more of an offensive line thing, or what did you guys determine?
No, when we ran for 400, it was the whole group. When you run for 100 and some, it's the whole group. We got to do a better job on the second level. We got to be a little bit more aggressive on the perimeter and making those defensive backs worry about a couple things. Number one, getting blocked and being harassed, and secondly, off of that, being able to get down the field and run some great routes and catch the football.
So will are all the starters going to still be the same on the offensive line?
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
What have you noticed so far from Hawaii? It seems like they're either going to put up 30-plus points or just kind of offensively not show up. What do they do well, and how do you prepare for that? Well,
I think, Julian, a couple things. They rush for over 300 yards against Fresno, and then they throw for 400 against New Mexico. And, I think they're a pretty complete team when you watch them. They got guys who can get down the field and catch the football. I think their backs all have a certain degree of specialness to them where they can do some different things. The quarterback, he put up a long drive against us a year ago, and they beat us the last 2 years. I think defensively they're aggressive. I think they're physical. I know Todd is from that vein as far as being a defensive-minded guy. So, you look at them, and you look at 300 yards rushing, and then the next 2 weeks later, it's 400 yards throwing the ball. So they keep you off balance. We've got to be fundamentally sound, and you got to try and get some pressure on the quarterback, and then the hard part is keeping him in the pocket.
And then Carson Baker faced adversity, I would say, for the first time this season. How have you just seen him respond at practice this past week?
Yeah, well, like I said, we had a really good energized practice yesterday. Bake's a sophomore. He's learning. We talked about, you've got to manage the offense before you can master it. And I think, it's a learning experience every day. And he's sharp. He's smart. Jeff will do a great job with him.
Hey, Cordero, is he got a little bit of Josh Allen in him as a quarterback in terms of throw and ability to run? And then I have a follow-up question.
That's a pretty high standard. I never got to coach against Josh. So the only thing I can tell you on film, he's very accurate. The ball comes out fast. He has the ability to run in the run game with zone reads or quarterback power or counter. And he can extend plays. And those are things that, especially as a D-line coach by heart, it is something that we got to do a great job of keeping him in the pocket and leveraging, the passing lanes.
And a follow-up, the San Jose State situation, you talked about Carson learning curve adversity. Your offensive line get out-toughed because the protections didn't look real good, and he seemed to be under enormous pressure an awful lot attempting to throw. Is that part of the equation? Were you disappointed? Did it look like you got out-toughed, or did San Jose's front stun you because they were so physical?
I think we knew going in they were going to be physical. I think any time in the game of football, 11 guys got to be doing the right thing. And 11 guys on offense, 11 guys on defense. And when you have success, all 11 are doing their job. When you don't, there might be 10 of the 11 doing their job and one guy not. So I wouldn't put it all on them. I think it's a little bit of everybody and something that, in our details and something that we got to do a better job with.
Hey, Brady, you mentioned the Hawaii series, them getting you guys a couple of times, and last year in particular. I mean, it was basically the end of the season for the division title, a chance to go to the championship game. How much do you expect that to be in the mind of your guys this week?
Well, believe me, it's already been placed in their mind about, going over there, having a chance to go to the championship game and not getting it done. Again, we're a little bit of a different team. They're a little bit of a different team. And so the one thing you do see is, their offensive line has a lot of experience. I think, from our standpoint, we got to take care of what we do best, and we got to do it better.
And you said it last week, you said it again this week. You learn something new every week. It's the nature of football. From two pretty lopsided, convincing wins to your first taste of disappointment, what was the takeaway about this group after week 3?
Well, I think, number one, the ball security issues are always something that gets a little bit more magnified, obviously, when you lose a football game. And giving up 14 points in the fourth quarter, some of that was field position, but we got to pride ourselves on sudden change defense and in our red zone defense. I think we've got to make some improvement in those two areas.
Hi, Coach. I know it's 4 weeks in, and it's been a really challenging season logistically and everything. I was just wondering, has it gotten better, or are there still challenges of playing at one spot and being based in another?
You know what? I think the more it's like anything else, Stephen. I think any time you do things multiple times, whatever it is, how you shave in the morning, whatever, you hope you get better and better at it. And I think our transition with our guys and what we're doing, going to Dignity Health and that being our home site, I think the more we get there, I think the more smooth the operation is with all the protocols. So I think that's part of it. And I just think that for our guys, obviously we're all in the same boat with no fans in the stands. It would even be probably a little bit more home team ready if there were some people there.
Do you still feel like you're a visiting team, or do you feel like you're a home team over there?
No, I think we're feeling that way. Again, I think every time we do it, I think our guys get a little bit adjusted to the bus ride on Friday and getting to the stadium and all those kind of things. Not near not issues, but the first game was a little different. Where does the defense meet? Where's the offense meet? So all those things, they know what we're doing now.
Coach, tell me a little bit about Greg Bell and what was it like to have somebody like that, I guess, basically falling in your lap, if that's what happened?
Well, I think basically that kind of did happen that way. He wanted to come back home. And so we're glad he fell into our lap. I think, the one thing about Greg that you could see early and going through spring, he didn't have any contact coming off the eye injury and all those things, and but you could tell that he had a really good knack for feeling things. Running the football, and he was patient, even though there was no contact. His ability to put his foot in the ground and accelerate is something that there's not a whole lot of backs that can give you that.
Coach, quick question for you on if you had a chance to look back at a couple of the plays last weekend, specifically the Carson Baker, what was ruled a backward pass. When you watched that on video, was that a backward pass?
I think the momentum of the defender made the ball go back. I don't think it was anything but the defender's momentum. Carson had the right idea in trying to get it to where he had to get it so there wouldn't be any penalty. They sniffed out the screen pretty well. But I personally, I think it was momentum of the defender that made the ball go backwards.
And then the other play was the muffed punt. Was the tackle legal within the?
Well, the only thing I know, there was a halo rule at one time, and I don't know if the halo rule's still there, but they called it a muff, and we tried to argue it the best we could, tried to get a couple more looks at it, but they made a decision.
Brady, speaking of the punt game, will Bird still be your punter, or will you go to somebody else? And if Bird is still the guy, what do you do to kind of coach a guy up to get so that doesn't become more of a habit?
Yeah, well, we usually use him or Jesse. I think both of them are very capable, and obviously having the ability to have either one of those guys back there, feel really good about it. Jordan obviously got a little anxious, and I think he was trying to make a play, to be honest with you. And so, from that standpoint, we like the aggression that he has, but, we just got to have better follow through at the end.
Well, so will the first guy we see back there be Jesse, or do you think it'll still be Jordan?
Yeah, I think it'd be Jesse. As we go through the week, Coop does a great job of with those guys fielding punts, and we'll see who has a good week.
And what do you think Jesse brings to the table, and does it complicate it at all that he's a guy that you really count on as a receiver as well?
I don't think so. I think last year, Jesse, we had him return punts last year some, so I don't think it matters, Kirk.
In regards to the San Jose State game, how much was the team thrown off mentally when Starkel went down so early? And was there any let up of, this game just got a lot easier with him out?
Yeah, I don't think there was any let up. When you watch the tape, we had some missed tackles that we got to leverage the ball better. That hurt us. The game plan to some degree changed a little bit. Because of the ability of Nash to run with the football within the quarterback design run game and get out of the pocket. So from that standpoint, I think going into the game, I don't think there's any doubt that our guys knew the difference between the two quarterbacks. We just got to not have some missed assignments we had, and we've got to do a better job of tackling.
And how much is this a game where the coaching staff takes responsibility for the loss as opposed to, the players were making mistakes that we just couldn't overcome?
Well, it's not the players' fault. I mean, we're paid to get these guys ready to play, and that's the job of coaches, the head coach. And so, John, we got to do better, and that's what we talked about yesterday.
I see you haven't run out of Lockalockas yet. I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about what Cedric has done this year. I understand he's starting for you now.
Yeah, Cedric's doing a great job. I mean, he, from his leadership standpoint, I got to know Ced better From last year, we would meet with the linebackers and go through some stunt games and that kind of stuff. But I really think Sed's done a great job as far as his leadership. I think he's a guy that flies around the field, plays with great emotion.
Hey, Brady, when you found out that Boise got punched in the mouth by BYU, we were surprised how bad that lopsided game was. And obviously 1 versus 2 by the time you get to the end of the season is going to be huge. But were you stunned Boise got nailed like they did?
Nothing surprises me anymore, Lee, in football. I do know BYU because they started the season a little earlier, got a chance to watch them a couple times. But, they're a good football team. And quarterback they have is playing very well. And I think their defense is playing well. So, nothing surprises you. Lee, you've been around it enough. Nothing is a surprise.
Brady, you guys are so deep at running back. One guy that seems to be lost in the shuffle is Jasmine. Has that been sickness or injury, or just that some of the other guys progressed ahead of him?
Well, he was beat up early and missed some time. And this is probably a month and a half back. He missed some valuable time, and at the same time, he wasn't getting the opportunities that he would have liked to had. So, he's decided that he was going to opt out. And, I will give him all the support that we can.
Okay. And then how long ago did he decide that? And will he be able to come back next year?
Well, he's got every opportunity to use our facilities academically and all those things.
Okay. And then the other thing I asked you a few weeks back, if you had signed your contract yet, is it signed now?
It's not a big deal. It's just a contract.
It's just a housekeeping thing that I just wanted to see.
You know what? I've been pretty busy, so I haven't thought about it much.
Do you think it'll be before the season's over?
Well, we'll work that way. And I'm not, there's no big deal. I just honestly, with everything that we've gone through, I didn't even think about it. So I got a job to coach football, and that's what I'm going to do.
But there's nothing else holding it up?
No, not at all.